Sir, I will have your men. Now, even numbers, sir. Form 2 lines on the double. Sir.
We're at the shield maker in Zulu land. He's got his cabbages and tomatoes there. But hello, Sabona. Hello. Yebo. Sabona.
Dan kosa katsele no fune kuna amahao amabili amahao makulu ikhona
amahao mabili
yebo ma so ayimnandi le nafuna amahao ukugida ma ikhulu.
Where is he getting these little cats?
Look at that.
What is this? What is that called? Is a cat?
Yeah.
Meow. There's no shortage of them?
They are. They're all protected.
Wow.
But you've got everything there. They do betches, they go to Essendon, they've got the heads thing.
You know, traditionally the Zulu, they like the leopard skin around there.
Yeah.
Tell me that's now fake leopard.
It is.
Good. Okay. Is he taking an order?
No,
That's his business card. Oh, I see. Oh, choose. Oh, yeah. That's you. Oh. I took a photo of the shield at the museum. Thank you, boss. That's beautiful. Is that you? Is that you?
Yeah, me.
Oh, look. Wow. Zulu.
Oh,
Is that him?
Oh no, Mike Nell.
Oh, who's Mike?
He used to be one of the guys in Dundee. Yeah, the Mike Nell.
Yeah.
Ik kost niet gamma lachen.
Manje takukumbe. Asiko le ntobo la ifuna.
This is his stock over here. Perhaps we don't really understand what's going on. I'm wearing the double khaki today for safari purposes.
Ja, kumbola baba. Olo lomlongo maganga.
So you see that one? That was at the museum. That's a rounder one,
yes,
rather than the skinny one. That's what I like.
That's called a mbumbolozo. It's not the it's
a fatty one, not so skinny.
Mbumbolozo.
Yeah.
Pobeloso. Yes, yes.
Do you like that colour?
Yeah, it's okay.
Was it taller than Gaki?
Yeah.
It was a taller than Billy. Cigar one lot.
Yeah. Number one.
Yeah.
So we want 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then pura nini?
Ja, lungile. Otherwise, ukona mhlophe nebomvu or nebomvu phela la.
Mhlophe nebomvu.
Wenza ukhona nini lapho? Inyama.
How about that one?
Hayi, yena
Yeah, you can see it's got the what's the news have got to it.
asikho.
What, insects?
Asikho leboya.
Seems to be right into it already. There's no work safety here.
No such thing as health and safety here, don't worry about it.
Wow. I did notice he was bleeding slightly before we got here. I think I understand why. Louis Napoleon, or the Prince Imperial, was the last of his dynasty, and the hopes of a French restoration of the Napoleons rested in his bloodline. He cut a dashing figure, an eligible bachelor, and high up with connections in royalty and high places. He had an ambition to be an officer in the military. He did some training in England with an artillery school, and he performed rather well. Pulling some strings, he petitioned Queen Victoria to let him serve with a British unit. So he's given an honorary role and sent down to Natal, to Zulu land, to help with the Zulu War, which was winding up at this stage. One afternoon, a party of British officers and men were going out to do some mapping, and they were looking to map a river and to find a suitable crossing point for the army to use at a later date. And it was seen as a fairly safe mission. And Louis asked if he could go along. So the party rode out, and they spent some time riding and looking around and mapping things, taking notes, when Louis asked if they could have tea by an abandoned kraal. An African that went ahead to scout out for them warned them that the coals seemed quite warm, but they ignored that advice, and they dismounted and let their horses graze while they had their tea. To their horror, a short time later, Zulus emerged, we're told, from the long grass. But there are big rocks they could have been hiding behind, which you will see. Most of the party were able to mount and ride off at a gallop, but a couple of them and Louis were caught before they could mount. Louis, to his horror, when he went to climb into the stirrup, the saddle slipped. It looked as if the girth hadn't been tightened while the horses were grazing. and he ran alongside his horse for a while, trying to stave off the Zulus until they overpowered him, and he made his final stand with his sword and his pistol. We're told in a romantic vision. Pat thinks that's unlikely. But at any rate, we were here today to find the place where Louis Napoleon, the Prince Emperor, lost his life. We stopped on a rocky ridge by the side of the road, just
Terrain, that's bloody inhospitable.
Just to get an idea. We're in search of the Louis Imperial site. And you see those trees? They think Louis and his compadres stopped somewhere around there. The story is that the Zulus are in the long grass, but as Pat says, even now in winter when there's lots of rain, there isn't long grass. So there is those ridge of rocks there that you're seeing now. See, the trees are above that ridge line, so if there were Zulus hiding behind there, they've sprung out and surprised the tea party. Louis has then tried to mount his horse. The saddle's slipping all the way. We're told the stirrup broke, but that seems unlikely. But whatever, he couldn't get a firm seat on his horse. We're moving across to there will be some buildings coming into view there. That's apparently where the monument is. So Louis lost his life about there, but he had tried to escape them along that ridge line. The British that were with him, his party to protect him, buggered off sort of up that way, and then realised that some of their party were missing, and someone said, "Hey, where's Louis?" Oh dear. This is going to make an interesting report back to the General's office. "Sir, we've lost someone." "Who?" That French fella." Right, so just on our way to find the place where Louis Napoleon met his untimely death at the hands of the Zulus after enjoying a cup of tea and being warned that the fire was still warm. The Emperor knew best. Did they come and get his body the next day, Pat? Or?
Yeah. That was the irony that when they went out,
Absolutely privileged here to have reached one of my places I'd written down to must see for a long time now, the site of the death of the Prince Imperial Louis. We crossed a bit of a drift, you can see down there. There's a bridge coming over that drift. That's what they were here for. They were mapping that drift so the British Army knew where to cross. That was their job on that day, was to map this area, and Louis decided they wanted to stop for a hot brew. So this is and I didn't, of course, think or remember there were a couple of British lost their lives as well that were sort of part of the party meant to protect the prince and do their job. So he wasn't the only one that died that day. The death of the Prince Imperial. With him went the Napoleons, of course. The gate is a bit... maybe we can't get in. I can't see. Apparently there's a woman assigned to look after the monument. Beautiful little birds there. She might come out and talk to us with a handout. She I think Pat said she'd like a donation. Sort of an image of the prince trying to get onto his saddle madly. Pat thinks he hadn't adjusted the The saddle probably is it the girth? The strap for the girth hadn't been tightened. The horses had been left to wander off and feed while they had their cup of tea. A little cool in Zululand, I've got to say. I'll be putting my track pants on, but I've got everything I brought with me in the boot of the car, so not a problem with that. Look at that bit of bone there. Is it part of the Prince Imperial's thigh bone? No, it's not. It's a bit of cow someone's been having briflace with. Well, it's quite a big, okay, it's a graveyard. I didn't expect that. So, I don't have to ask Pat. Don't think the prince was buried here. The others were. There's a stone strategically placed for visitors. And this area has become a bit of a bar. There we go. Prince Imperial Monument, Louis Napoleon exiled, heir to the Bonaparte throne.
That he's bought in Durban and etc, 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 but then you then find that no, he's not riding Percy, he's riding a horse called Fate. And then you read something else and they say no, the African Scout was riding Fate, he was riding something else, and so it goes on. He was stabbed 17 times in the front, so everybody makes this great fuss about the fact that he fought, you know, facing the foe and etc, 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 with one spear wound in the eye, which probably was the one that killed him. And because they respected him and the way he fought, that they didn't mutilate him in typical Zulu fashion. They left him with this little scratch on his stomach, but that was really about it. And the problem is, of course, that the better you fight in Zulu custom, the more they hack you to shreds. If you don't fight very well, they don't bother.
Right.
So if Louis was untouched, that means he didn't fight at all well. If he did fight well, they would have hacked him to shreds, they would have disemboweled him, they would have taken his liver and his gallbladder, and he would have... The Zulus have this custom which they call hlomula, so I can get almost as much glory out of stabbing a dead body as I do killing the guy. And so you find that a body lying there, and if there's 20,000 Zulus all run past him, they'll all stab him. And there's nothing left of it, just bloody bits of dog meat everywhere there. So
Yeah.
had Louis actually fought well in terms of Zulu custom, there wouldn't have been anything left.
That's right, because I had the vision of him emptying his revolver, his Webley, and then turning to his sword and hacking at them. And
No, he lost his sword dropped when he fell off his horse. And of course the sword arm was injured as well when he did that. But the other thing is that if Empress Eugenie now comes along and says, well, thanks for picking up my son's body, can I have a look at him? Are you going to open up the coffin and say that there's 3 pieces of dog meat is all that's left of your son? And so I wonder whether the British didn't come to this whole conclusion that no, he was fine, he was really fine. But guess what, the embalming failed. And don't look in the body, it's probably not that sort of a good idea there. But I honestly think that they literally scraped him up with a
shovel.
Yeah, with a shovel and put whatever was left inside there and said, okay, that's it, thank you very much. And don't, for God's sake, don't let her have a look at it. And left it at that. So whether he fought well, fought like a lion, and again, the Zulus respected him because of who he was. They wouldn't have known what he was from a bar of soap,
No.
or cared. one way or another. So it's not a romantic, as the historians, particularly the French, try and make out to be. This is a young man used to getting his own way all his life, all of a sudden caught in a situation where he just can't handle, and poof, it must have been the most terrifying way to die that you can possibly think of. That's it. There's nothing glorious or honourable or anything else about that. You're just caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. Now those two crosses in the back, of course, are Abel and Roger.
So you can see those pink, we saw them from the road, but those pink huts, and there's a tree to the left, that's what Pat's saying, that they would have us believe that the Prince and his friends made it across here before finally meeting their end and being assegaied, and then they're buried here. Well, the Prince isn't, but so who knows? There is a plaque there which is French and English, which is a very nice area. And this is the French version. Centenaire de la Mort du Prince. I'm not even going to try that. The cross is erected by Queen Victoria. Well, it's maintaining that. He fell with his face to the foe.
Again, that's a European notion of gallantry.
You can sit out here on the plastic bench. Quiet reflection. This is some of the Zulu homestead where the Prince fell. Prince's bodies returned to camp, off to Peter Marisburg, and then he's on the steamer at Durban. He's back on the Orientes, and buried in the crypt of St Mary's Church, Chislehurst. Caused a sensation in Europe as it ended the last hope that the Bonaparte dynasty could be restored. Public in Britain followed events through the eyes of artist journalists such as Melton Pryor, who in a time before photography was commonplace sketched scenes by hand to be made into printable woodcuts. A special issue of the Illustrated News, 2nd of July 1879, covered the death of the Prince, return of his body to Britain, and the funeral. There's his funeral cortege, and of course not to be forgotten. Now apparently there's a stone wall still standing, Pat, up there. Right. The names are barely readable. The monument is barely readable in memory of Trooper Rogers, who were killed near this spot while on patrol with the Prince Imperial of France, the 1st of 1879, who rest here in peace. So once again, well, that says Rogers, and that says I think Trooper Abel or something. There's a bit of a name scratched, but we're getting to meet the custodian. Yeah, she's got a cash bag with her. Hello.
She gets you to sign the visit to see when the last visitor was.
Yebo. Sabona. Here she comes. She's got the visitor's book. She's switched on. She knows what the job is. Hello, Mama.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
You come from
Australia. Long way away.
writing book.
Yeah, I'll go writing book. Yes, please. Very nice. A little bit cold today. There we go.
That's your homework that you got to read.
Google Butelesi. Oh, well, she's got all the documentation. Some of it's in French. Wow. Bonsoir.
Good day.
Hello, good morning.
What are you?
I'm from Australia.
Australia.
Yeah. Bonsoir. Here we go. Thank you, Mum.
When was the last one? Yeah.
October.
Okay, it's not too far away.
Sorry.
There you go.
The visitor is the history of Napoleon.
I've been here 20 million times.
Okay.
What's the day today?
It's 20 million times.
Nkosikazi le fika ne Australia ngimi ngifike eDundee phela.
Oh, forget that.
Yebo.
Oh.
She doesn't really want my email, does she?
No. It wasn't the days that they used to market things that are happening out here, but of course not much is happening.
Alright, something Australian. Beaut. Thank you, Mama.
Bossing Matilda. Let me have a look here. Who's it there?
You don't see any ghosts here? Any of the prince? No ghost? No ghost.
No
Is it
ghost
Boko?
here.
No, I think.
Okay. I thought maybe speaking French.
To stay here.
How long has she been here?
Forever.
40 years.
Okay.
I'm staying here.
Is this your mother? Or?
Yes, is my mother.
Nice. Okay.
Me, I am a volunteer.
Do you?